here with Adrian Wassel, and tell us, what's it like working with Post Malone on Big Rig? Like, you just had that panel yesterday, and now it's going to become a movie, and book 2's coming.
Yep. Both of those things are true, and working with Posty is a dream come true. I've said it a couple times, but it really has changed my life for the better. He's become a good friend. I'm working on the book with Nathan, who's my cousin. We grew up making comic books together. He's done a million other books, and this is the first time we've done a book together in over a decade. So it was like a literal family reunion. And now Posty feels, like part of the family too. It's kind of hard to express in words how fantastic the experience has been. He's everything and more than his reputation, humble and kind and generous and just like a total creative force. It kind of felt like System Link, Xbox, 13 years old, hanging out, talking your favorite comics way too late. That's been the vibe.
Yeah, and I've got to say, from the panel yesterday, if there's one word I could describe Post Malone, it's humble. He seems like such a great guy to work with. And what's that kind of been like trying to take his his ideas, write them out, and take his creativity and put it onto the page?
It's been really fun and admittedly very hard because he has so many cool ideas. Like, the hardest part of Big Rig Volume 1 was how do we fit it all in? And how do we just keep making it more fun and more crazy? It's been a blast, and the challenge was figuring out the pacing. So we had to do some really clever things, like force the rig to break down so that we could create those suffocating moments. Because the thing is, like, as a dynamic and cool as the rig is to see on the page, if you think about the character moments where everybody's stuck inside a cab, that can be the same shot over and over and over again. So it was a lot of work and collaboration to figure out how to get from one big, like, sort of set piece and plot point to these smaller character moments without those character moments feeling too repetitive.
Totally. And one thing you said during the panel that I really liked was how you had to be specific with the weapons, because you can't have everything be on foot, then you got to bring the rig with you, and that led to the chainsaws. And I'm curious to know, are there specific weapons you're like, man, this is something we wanted to introduce that would fit the vibe, but we didn't get to introduce yet?
Yeah, well, there are some, but I also feel like I can't really split. There's definitely a giant ballista coming at some point, which is like a huge crossbow. You're good. Yeah, that I'm really excited to show off. There may be more rigs in the world, which may start to explain some of how the magic works and why there's a rig at all. But those big answers will come. The first time that Nate drew the back of the rig, he drew it like imagine like if it was Punisher's rig, it was just filled with like a million handguns and like small arms. And then Posty was like, well, hold on a second. If we do that, then the heroes are just going to be running around on foot with guns. So we made sure that everything that was in the rig kept creating the rig as a character that had to evolve, where they had to mount weapons and use that rig itself to fight hell, to fight the demons, to keep the character of the rig alive and at the center of the story.
Nice. And you mentioned there's a crossbow coming, and you mentioned the Punisher just now. And when I think about like weapons in comic books, Punisher, but like Batman also comes to mind, and all his tools are super specific because he's Batman. Is there going to be something that's like, this is something you'd only find on a truck or a big rig that is going to become a unique kind of weapon that they're going to pull out and be like their ace in the hole kind of?
Yes, there's a little tease. He is the deliverer of vengeance, and there is a special delivery do not open box that we have shown a few times. So I would just say to everyone, keep your eyes peeled for that box. Because he, at the end of the day, what truckers do is deliver. So there's that. And then I would also say the plow. Like, the plow, I feel like, is very much like the quintessential icon of even the logo. If you look at it, it's a plow. And that's the main thing. The plow keeps evolving. Like, they build it out of the portcullis that they smashed through originally, and then they keep reinforcing it, and it keeps changing shape. So I feel like the plow is like a main icon. It's not quite the bat logo, but it's kind of like our version of that.
Yeah, it's a symbol. Now, before we wrap up, I just want to give you a quick props because I know you guys have done a ton of research on this. You mentioned yesterday in the panel, you're making sure it's as historically accurate for what's actually would be happening in that time period. And there's things like I looked up in Google and I was like, that was real. Or like an eyebrow raised for the Freemasons. So what's been your favorite thing that you've been like, man, I found this fact and I put it in the book and I hope someone finds it because it's such a cool thing that we're incorporating from real world into the world of the big rig?
I think my favorite is one that's kind of staring everybody in the face, like right from the beginning. It's the insignia for the Six Petals, who are the secret sect of the Knights Templar. So the Knights Templar were obviously a real knights whose like original oath was to safeguard pilgrims to the Holy Land. And the Six Petals is a fictional sect of knights, but the insignia that they wear is a very real symbol that was used across cultures, across continents. And one of the reasons it was used so much is that you can create it by just stamping a circle 6 times and it creates that logo. But it was inscribed on doorways and thresholds and armor, and people would use it as a symbol of protection. Especially if you were crossing into a new space. So the fact that the Six Petals are wearing a symbol that literally is the barrier between worlds and it's earth versus hell, there's a lot that ties into that symbol, and it's right there from page 1. So I think that is probably my favorite little thing that is very historically real and has significance in the story.
Does a 6 petal also play into why there's a 7 on the trucker's hats?
I can't answer all the questions.
Ooh, awesome. Well, Adrian, thank you so much for your time. Big Rig is out now. You can get the full book. It's here at New York Comic Con, but you can also get it online on Vault's website. But go to your local comic shop, pick it up there, and look out for book 2 next year.